SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in, Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad with you. Sports Talk Mississippi Super Regionals. Two teams. Mississippi State walks through the Starkville Regional. Ole Miss goes up to Lincoln. They have to play 2 extra inning games, and then the only game that wasn't in extra innings had to carry over through a night's sleep because of a weather delay that caused them to have to wake up and play 1 inning the next morning. So weird weekend, but good weekend. Ole Miss as well punches their ticket to the Supers. We know where State's going. We don't yet know what's going to happen to Ole Miss, Auburn, and Milwaukee. Winner changes things. If Auburn wins, Ole Miss will be off to Auburn. If Milwaukee wins somehow, they will be headed to Oxford for the first Super Regional in Oxford in 17 years. Mississippi State, of course, headed to Athens. But what a great weekend this was. We are going to talk about it. You're also going to hear from Brian O'Connor. We'll get to winners and losers. Also, we got 2 teams to get to on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. We will squeeze them in at some point. But this is going to be a baseball-heavy day because Brian Hadad, not 1, but 2 teams are headed to the Super Regionals from the great state of Mississippi. And we are here to talk about it.
We are here in the Pearl River Resort Studios. Pearl River Resort. I don't know if you've been outside today, Borkey. It's hot. It's hot outside.
It is extremely hot today.
So go cool down at Geyser Falls. But if you can take the heat, go play around the golf at Dancing Rabbit. Or if you just want to be inside, go eat a great meal at Philip M's. All those things can be done at one place. That's Pearl River Resort, pearlriverresort.com. That's where you're going to book your stay. C-Spire text line open to you at 601-879-4395. With C-Spire, it's easier than ever to get all the devices you want in one move with the Ultimate Connect bundle. Right now, new and current customers can get a free phone, watch, and tablet, plus 100 gigs of data for just $90. That includes the new iPhone 17 or the Samsung Galaxy S26 for free, and a free smartwatch and tablet to go with it. Don't wait. There's more to see. Visit cspire.com or stop by your local C-Spire store today. C-Spire, inspired by? Oh, you guessed it. You.
I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this. This is what it is supposed to be in Mississippi, and it's so good that it's back. You guys out there care too much and invest too much of your money and of your time to not be rewarded by winning regionals, hosting super regionals if you're Mississippi State, going to them if you're Ole Miss. This is what college baseball in this state is, what it can be and what it's supposed to be. And Hadad, after years of issues, after winning national championships, it's been well documented. We don't need to rehash that. But it feels nice, regardless of what happens this coming weekend, getting to the Sweet 16, right? Super Regionals is a huge deal in and of itself. This is where we, quote unquote, we in the state of Mississippi belong, is right here in this spot, 2 teams in the Super Regionals.
I mean, like you said, the amount of commitment, support, tradition for our programs in the state. You're correct. This is, these teams should be doing this. Look, you can't do it every year, right? That's a bit much to ask. The best, nobody is an every year super regional program, but by God, both of these programs should be there more often than they have been the past 5 years.
Yeah,
and let's hopeful that this is the start of that in Mississippi with State and Ole Miss.
Let me run this by. Here's what I'm thinking, because we got three wins for State, 3 wins for Ole Miss. let's just go game by game. You want to do that? Hey, and let's start with game one in Starkville, although on Friday we did talk about it, but considering, one, it's the summer, people gone on vacation, our stations were covered up in part because of the post-game show for State. Let's just start there, because I think State, timing-wise, punched their ticket first to the Super Regional, so let's start with them. And
I think you're wrong, actually. I think the Ole Miss game
ended before the State game ended?
Just before the State game ended.
Well, I've already got the State scores up, so let's just go with that. Friday, it was just an easy, comfortable, dominating win, 10-1 over Lipscomb, setting the tone for the entire weekend for State.
Well, I mean, what you just said there, though, easy, comfortable kind of wins becomes a trend for Mississippi State. I would go so far as to say, of all the 1 seeds this weekend, nobody had it easier than Mississippi State in terms of their margins of victory.
Yeah.
State with double-digit runs in every game. They ran into some bullpen issues in the later innings, and that's something that, can be a concern when you're looking ahead to next weekend with Georgia. But State was in control. They never trailed the whole weekend. The bats were explosive. The starting pitching was electric, elite at all 3 starters, Duke Stone, Tomas Valinkis, and Ryan McPherson were outstanding. 27 strikeouts, 2 walks between your 3 starters.
That's a spectacular stat right there.
You win a lot of games when your starters aren't putting guys on base like that. So, great crowds, no weather issues here other than it was hot, which it was, by the way. I'd like to point that out.
Yes, it was
hot. It's muggy. But
it is officially June,
yeah,
for sure.
We finally made it to summer. But I thought State is about to go play a team that they're 0-4 against on the season. But I think based on the way they played this week, they should be going to Athens with as much confidence as they can possibly have that they can pull this off. They've got the X factor of Ryan McPherson, who Georgia has not seen this year. On the other side of that, Mississippi State will face Georgia's ace for the 3rd time this season. Got to have the scouting report on him by now. But yeah, Cincinnati's a pretty good ball club. They've got some good players on that team. I thought that Louisiana, they scrapped really hard to get to the regional final. They just ran out of pitching. It's as simple as that. They just didn't have anything left. But really impressive weekend for Mississippi State. They dominated the Starkville Regional, and like you said, they move on to play the other Georgia Bulldogs this weekend.
Yeah, the Stone decision was the correct one in foresight, 100%. And in hindsight, also the correct one. 10 strikeouts, 6 complete, no runs on just 3 hits. We did talk about that Friday, but on Saturday, Hadad, you mentioned it. Valinkis goes 7 1/3, only 5 hits. They did score 3 runs, but if you're getting 3-run ball and 7 1/3 with 10 strikeouts, buddy, sign me up for that every single time the guy goes out there.
I think 2 of those runs scored after he was out of the game. They were just his responsibility, runners on base kind of thing.
That is correct. That is absolutely what happened. So he left the game only having given up 1 run. Also for State, 13 hits in the game. You had 3 from Chance, 3 from Stallman, and then 2 from Lou Gehrig Fry. Really nice really nice.
Fry had a good weekend, yeah.
Nice day at the plate against the 2 seed.
Yeah, just all weekend long you had production all throughout the order, Somebody had a bad game, the guy behind him picked him up, and you just had everybody got hits this weekend. Nobody didn't eat at the plate this weekend. Also, one more thing to talk about to bring away from this was really cool moment of Bryce Chance, who nearly got 3 final at-bats at Dudy Noble Field. In the 7th, comes up, standing ovation, and I tweet, probably maybe his last at-bat.
Yeah.
8th inning, State's gotten back to it. Another standing ovation. Definitely his last at-bat. Then you go to the 9th, and State puts some more runs on the board, and if Malewski had gotten on, Bryce Chance would have had a 3rd final at-bat and would have gotten a 3rd standing ovation.
Honestly. Imagine getting 3 standing ovations.
Well, it would have been 4 technically, because when he came off the field and he was getting his glove, and they got another one at that point too, and it was very emotional. I don't know if you saw it on everybody was tearing up out there in the outfield. His walkout song is "Dinosaur" by Hank Williams Jr., and he is a dinosaur. You don't see a lot of guys who play 5 years at a school and tough it out and go through all of this. And the SEC's tagline is very cheesy, but every now and then it does mean more. And that was a moment where a guy who clearly bleeds maroon and white was taken in that moment of his final moments in that stadium, and he'll see if he can't play a little more baseball after this weekend.
We will. We got a little bit of time here. So that happens. Then McPherson, you mentioned it, 5 complete, just a couple of runs, 5 hits, struck out 7. But it was the bats for State that were really the stars of the show.
Yeah, specifically a true freshman from Purvis, Mississippi, who is very slowly but surely carving his name and letting people know that is a guy that is going to be a force to be reckoned with for the next couple of years. When we're talking about Jacob Parker, we're not just talking about another player, another good player, and a guy who could maybe be all SEC. We are talking about a guy who can be a Golden Spikes winner, who can be a top 5 pick in the draft, who can be an All-American, who could challenge Hunter Hines, even only in 3 years, in the home run record. I mean, this is the kind of the talent we've got. He's nearly at 20 home runs this year. He didn't play the first month of the season.
Crazy.
When he could have feasted on some off-conference, non-conference pitching.
Yeah.
And he is. Every time I watch this kid play, something else opens my eyes. I'm like, he should not be here. Should not be playing college baseball, but he is, and that is to Mississippi State's benefit for the next 3 seasons. What a stud he is going to be.
6 plate appearances in that deciding game, 4 for 4, and then walked a couple of times.
Got on base every time.
Unbelievable
and 2 home runs.
Stuff. We will we'll keep talking about State's regional win when we come back. Text us on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. We'll be back.
SuperTalk Mississippi. Introducing to you Sports Talk Mississippi.
Few of your messages on the text line. This Mississippi State team is going to be a force next year with Felinkus, Stone on the mound. Who is that? Hey, the second name there.
Let's see here.
Fur? Is he saying McPherson?
God, I hate that nickname, but yes. Yes, it's McPherson.
People are calling him Fur?
Fear.
But that's not Fear. Fear is...
Well, if you pronounce his name, it's McPherson.
But...
And it's P-H-E. Yeah, look, you don't have to sell me on this one being goofy. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
You are exactly right, though. What a great 1-2-3 punch that will be. Says, I'm sure O'Connor will go heavy in the bullpen in the portal. Meaningful baseball is back in Starkville.
I disagree with part of this, though. Bauer will not be in the bullpen, I don't think. Bauer's going to be your Sunday starter. Stone is probably going to be a midweek guy who can also come in and give you some innings on the weekend, be a long relief. Be the guy if you need somebody to go 3-4 innings in a weekend game. But I don't think Jack Bauer is going to be I don't think he's going to be the closer, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, Jeff says Borkey was doing podcasts at 1:30 a.m. this week. And we'll get to Ole Miss here in a little bit. But yes, I did hit go live at 1:34 in the morning. But we'll get to that here in a little while. Somebody says State and Georgia looked the best this weekend. Kansas looked great, too. Those guys are good.
Kansas,
so
not UCLA. North Carolina, Texas, they all had pretty easy runs. But nobody put up the offensive numbers that State did.
So the Georgia player and Wes Johnson they're both suspended for the first game? Is that accurate?
So I believe that with the way the rules work is they're going to appeal Wes Johnson. He'll probably be okay. He'll coach. But the player, Trey Phelps, will be out for game 1 against Mississippi State.
We'll get to more about that coming up later because I've got some thoughts on not just his situation, but all of them that happened this weekend. All right, so Georgia. On the docket, on the road, what do they call it, the Kudzu Hill up there? A lot of people are trying to make that, this is the best place to watch baseball in college baseball. It's very cool. It's a cool scene. It is so far from the field. It makes the student section at Ole Miss look like it's right behind the pitcher's mound, okay? It's a few hundred students a billion yards from the field. It's a cool thing, but more importantly, the team on the field, Hadad, State learned the hard way. Is elite. What is different now, or what can be different now that would lead State to a win to punch their ticket to Omaha?
Well, obviously the first thing that stands out is McPherson. Georgia didn't see him when they were here back in April. He was injured. They got to play against Charlie Foster on a Thursday night, I should say. So having him out there is awesome. That's something that's different for Mississippi State. I think the fact that this is the third time that the Georgia ace Volko has pitched against Mississippi State, that's worth something. You see a guy 3 times, you get that many at-bats against him. And if you go back to the game in the SEC tournament, State was hitting the ball in that game. The problem is they hit into 4 double plays. But they were making great contact off of him. They can hit this guy. So that's something. State's got to figure out the bullpen piece of things, though. I mean, it's great to get, 6 or 7 or 8 innings out of your starter, but you're going to have to find if you want to win this series, if you want to win this super regional, somewhere between 9 and 12, maybe 15 outs you're going to have to find from your bullpen. And, the way the bullpen pitched this weekend, it doesn't look like you could get those. I didn't think anybody out of the bullpen was particularly impressive. I thought Pitzer was okay on Friday, but Gleason wasn't very good. Ben Davis had his ups and downs. Bauer was just okay. Maddox Miller was not good. And just couldn't get guys out when you couldn't pitch with the lead. Gave up some walks, gave up some hits. That's my nitpick. My concern from the weekend was the way that the bullpen played. So,
yeah. And of course, it's valid considering that the competition level increases dramatically with Georgia.
Big time, yeah.
I mean, there's a chance Georgia's the best team in college baseball, especially now knowing that UCLA was fraudulent. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's not totally fair
Tech
because
is
baseball
losing right now, I believe.
Let me tell you, they are in fact losing right now to Oklahoma. Excuse me. But yeah, UCLA a little fraudulent. So Georgia very well could be the best team in the country. So I mean, not really much pressure on State. And as we pointed out this season, whether it's a product of who they've played or just dumb luck or whatever, State's been better on the road this year in conference play. And this, you can call this conference play if you want. State's been better away from home for whatever reason.
They have, and it is an anomaly, no doubt about it. They were 9 and 6 on the road, and 7 and 8 at home. Part of that is the schedule. They look at the teams they played on the road. They only played one SEC team that was a tournament team. That was Ole Miss. But the other, South Carolina and who else did they play on the road? Who am I missing? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Arkansas?
No, they played them on the road. Yeah, they did play them on the road, but they only got. I'm just the way State's schedule worked with the 4 sweeps is throwing me off here.
Yeah.
But long story short, 6 of their wins are against Ole Miss, and South Carolina, and then they have 3 other wins scattered through the other 5 series or 3 series. So, but they are better on the road. They have been better in conference play. Statistically, that's true. And the other thing with this is State should be playing with no pressure.
No.
All the pressure is on Georgia. Georgia, the last 2 years, has gotten knocked out of its own home super regional. That's got to be weighing on the back of their minds. They're going to play their first game without one of their best players. There's a lot working in State's favor for them to be going into a series against a team that they're 0-4 against, that is the SEC and SEC tournament champions. I don't know. I wouldn't tell you that State's the favorite. I wouldn't tell you that I think State's going to win. But I do think that from as much of a confidence standpoint as you could possibly have walking over to this series, State should be there. They should be in a good spot mentally.
Yeah. Somebody says, feels like the winner of this super regional has a legitimate shot to win the title. Absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah, the winner of this series is going to be among the favorites. If Georgia Tech gets eliminated, Georgia will be the odds-on favorite to win it, but State won't be far behind them.
And if State goes in there and wins, they'll be. I think they'll be the favorite.
I don't think they'd be the favorite. Maybe
I guess Texas.
Texas is still very, very good. North Carolina, and if Auburn advances, they're going to be there. But
if Auburn beats Ole Miss,
State would be in the grouping, yeah, for sure.
Interesting stuff. So you've got St. John's, by the way, sent Florida packing. They won today. You've got Kentucky, West Virginia. How about that, by the way? That's been spicy, by the way. The folks in Morgantown have not appreciated the way Kentucky conducts themselves. That's hard to say.
Welcome to the club, guys.
They have not liked that.
There's 15 other members.
There's been some spice to that. So that'll be a fun conclusion later. Troy and Florida.
Yeah, Troy with a big offensive game to force a Game 3.
And the TV network,
Game 7, I should say,
wants the host of Mornings with Richard Cross to be working overtime. They've got an 8 o'clock Central start for that tonight on a Monday night. I wonder what he did all day. in college. Like, what do you do today when you got to call a game at 8 o'clock at night?
If you made me guess, did he do his show this morning?
I have no idea if he did his show this morning.
Regardless, he's done it at 9 o'clock, and he didn't have to be there till 8, so he probably has to get there at like 6. He played golf. He found a golf course, I'm going to bet.
Richard did his show this morning. Good for him, man. Yeah. How about that in his hotel room?
Georgia Tech back on top, back-to-back home runs. Goodness, going to be a slugfest in this one. Nobody could have any pitching left there.
The total sidebar, the Patriots-Eagles trade went through. A.J. Brown is going to be an Eagle.
Big day for trades in the NFL today.
Yeah,
By the way,
kidding.
You and I both, I'm so tired. Got to bed about 2 last night after all the post-game show and podcast and everything else. I'm just like, I'm not cut out for this anymore.
Man, I'm worn out. It was so I
guarantee about 8:30 tonight I'll be asleep in my recliner.
That's gonna be
no
great.
chance. No chance I can stay awake.
Yeah, I hit go live at I think 1:34, quote unquote Friday night, Saturday morning, and then I didn't do a post game Saturday because the game, got extended into the next day, but that was well after midnight. And then last night the game ended at about 11:30, so I had to do the podcast and all that stuff after that. I'm beat myself. Not like we're digging ditches or anything like that, but
no, but still,
it was. I've had shorter weekends. I can put it that way. By the way, how's Robbie?
He's fine.
He's good.
Robbie Faulkner, of course, is no longer with us. He's in the
alive. Hospital.
Well, yeah, he's in the hospital.
I know, but when you said Robbie's no longer with us, he was in the hospital.
He's no longer with us. I don't know what you want me to tell you. He's doing fine. I went by to see him Saturday morning. I don't know did you see my freeze picture?
No. How did I miss that?
I tweeted it. Well, I was in Twitter jail, so I was replying to myself. I learned this weekend you're only allowed so many tweets when you don't pay. Well, Elon, I ain't never paying, so I guess I got to change the way I cover games. But anyway, I before I left, I was like, let me get a picture of you with the thumbs up, and if State wins, I'll send it out. And so yeah, I got to go. And I put that. I said this one was for Robbie. So yeah, he's doing good, in good spirits, just ready to get out of there. He should be out later today, I believe.
Good to know. So Mississippi State takes down, their regional, multiple teams.
Yeah.
And off to the Supers at Georgia. We will, of course, talk about that all week long. Ole Miss also punched their ticket to the Super Regionals. A little bit different. You had weather delays, 2 extra inning games. One game had to carry over. We'll talk about what Ole Miss did in Lincoln this weekend when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio. Don't go anywhere.
Talk Mississippi continues.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi. Borkey and Hadad with you. So we talked about State's regional win. Let's look to Lincoln, where Ole Miss came away victorious as well. They drew Arizona State, who, by the way, Arizona State being a 3 seed, they play a lot better than a 3 seed, buddy. Let me tell you. The top of that batting order is pretty vicious. But Ole Miss and Arizona State, we talked about Cole Carlone all week long, and before Ole Miss could even see him, Hunter Elliott gave up a couple of runs in the first, and Elliott wasn't as sharp as he's been. It wasn't his best outing. He did settle in some.
That game was lost in there in the first inning. In that when the guy gets thrown out at third, like the next batter gets a hit, right?
Yeah.
They score a run, but they should have scored 2 runs. And
they did not.
They did not.
And so you feel like in that moment, oh no, they've got Carlone, and Ole Miss is already down 2. This is going to be a long day.
You're getting bad Elliott today is what you thought.
And sure enough, Utermark homers in the bottom of the first. And then Elliott settles in a little bit, and then Ole Miss puts up a 4-spot. Furness double. Becerra hit the ball all the way to Omaha. I mean, just one of the longest home runs you'll see. And then, I think, who got on? Doesn't matter. A Decker hit, and Ole Miss puts up a 4-spot in the third, and then they put up another one in the fourth, and Ole Miss is suddenly leading 6-3. And they got all over Carlone, who, by the way, every bit is advertised. He
good player.
Ole Miss hit him around a little bit, but you can see why he's a projected first-round pick. He is huge, and he's got electric stuff. I mean, electric player. But Ole Miss jumped on him. And so Mike Bianco decides after 5 to go with Walker Hooks. And some people at the time were critical of that decision. I was not. Even, not with the benefit of hindsight that it ultimately worked. Frankly, it didn't work because Hooks gave up a couple of runs. But what did we say going into the regional? If you can just beat Arizona State, your pitching, your everything is better. Arizona State post Carlone and then Nebraska just in general, and you win this regional. And so Mike Bianco went with I got to do what I need to do to win this regional right now. Went with Hooks. He gave up a couple of runs, but ultimately pitched well. 5 1/3 and only 3 hits. Just 2 of them happened to produce runs. And then they went ahead and went to Calhoun. And Calhoun goes 3 2/3 and only gave up 1 hit. Ole Miss went 9 innings without scoring a run in this game.
Yeah.
So they went a full game without scoring a run in this game. But they jumped on Carlone, and they pitched it well enough to give them an opportunity in the 14th inning to get a walk-off. And even though, you used your 2 big arms out of the bullpen, you just feel so good about getting past Arizona State and Carlone, setting you up for Game 2. Game 2 happens. Taylor Rabe was exceptional for Ole Miss. 6 complete, only 4 hits, gave up just 1 run, struck out 9. Got a little bit weird with Robertson in there, but Ole Miss just gets it done. They pitched the heck out of it. Wasn't like their super best day at the plate, but they scored 6 runs on 9 hits. That's fine. But it was more about Rabe in Game 2. And then they had the weird, had to play the 9th the next morning thing. So they play 14 innings into the wee hours of the morning, play another game. It gets weather delayed, had to wake up and finish off Nebraska in that first game, and then it's Arizona State again, and Ole Miss offensively disappeared, and they had a lot of self-inflicted wounds in Game 3. First 2 games, they played clean baseball. That's why they won, really. They pitched it well, had timely hits, and they didn't make any mistakes. That was not the story in Game 3. You had a dropped he was on his horse a little bit, but Becerra dropped one. You had a pass ball that scored a run. You had a mismanagement of challenges, I think. There was a Decker play where he bobbled one, still threw the guy out. It was called safe. Ole Miss chooses not to challenge. That was an issue. You had to play at second base that you should have challenged, that you did not. So some soppy play mixed in there. But then you had elite-level plays from Pano that saved a run. Pano saved 2 or 3 runs in that game. Decker saved a run as well. And you had Townsend was okay. I think people were more critical of his outing than they should have been. He had to throw 30 extra pitches because of mistakes. But Will Libbert, guy that's largely struggled this year.
I'll be honest with you. Watching that game in the press box last night, when Libbert came in, I was like, I don't know. That was the first. You could have
that was my feeling too.
Sam Scar stood next to me. I was like, "Oh, they're bringing in Libbert."
They really had no other choice.
And he was like, "Is that all they got?" I mean, we were both just like, "That's not the right move."
It's kind of all they had in that spot. And
in postseason play, somebody like that has to step up from time to time.
And he did. 3 complete, did not give up a hit, and then Robertson as well. Give him credit in 2 complete, did not give up a hit. Offensively, really kind of struggled for most of the game yesterday. But then Arizona State goes to their best bullpen arm in Schaefer, and you have a couple of guys get on base. Bases get loaded. Dom Decker in an 0-2 count lifts one to the outfield. Ball game. Ole Miss walks him off. Really impressive stuff. 2 extra inning games, and then the third game had to carry over. You had 2 different weather delays. Elliott didn't have his best start, and then, why am I completely Kate Townsend, sorry. I kept wanting to say Hudson Calhoun.
Yes.
I was like, Calhoun didn't start. Why do you keep wanting to say Calhoun started?
Yeah.
Townsend didn't have his best stuff either, but bullpen was exceptional. Again, a couple timely hits, some great plays in the field. Foley had a really impressive one yesterday on a swinging bunt.
The Pano had 2 plays. I was just like,
yeah.
God. Which of these stats is more impressive to you? Somebody mentions this here. The Rebs strike out way too much. What is amazing is they struck out 46 times in 3 games and managed to win all 3. So that stat, or Ole Miss played a 14-inning game and threw 3 pitchers.
The 14-inning game, 3 pitchers, I think?
That's unbelievable. You throw a 14-inning game, win or lose, it should wreck you for the rest of the weekend. It did not. It did not.
And Hooks would have been able to pitch today, I think.
Yeah.
Calhoun definitely would have been able to pitch today had they
I
gotten
was
that
convinced,
far.
knowing Bianco, that if Ole Miss had played today, Hunter Elliott would have pitched. Maybe not started, but he would have gotten a couple innings somewhere.
I agree.
Yeah.
He would have pitched something.
Because he pitched in the game last year, right, against Murray? Yeah, so it would have been the same thing.
And I don't know who they would have started. I do know that you would have seen Cole Carlone again.
Oh, for sure.
You would have seen him again.
For sure.
I think Ole Miss kind of had to win last night.
Yeah.
But they did. And they overcame a lot. And, I mean, middle infield in particular was awesome. And, man, that was a mentally tough regional win, considering what they had to overcome. And now we'll see. I mean, we got to wait until 5 o'clock to know if they're going to go to Auburn or if they're going to host. But a couple times their backs were against the wall. A few times they had to get out of tight spots on the mound. Will Libbert rose to the occasion. Pano was exceptional in the field. Braden Randall had a walk-off. Just a lot of things had to go right, and they all went right. And a really impressive weekend for Ole Miss. They were the best team, most talented team in the regional, but they had to overcome a lot in order to prove that, and they did.
I agree with you. I thought that Ole Miss played really good baseball. Said you walk off a team twice. You again, Libert's performance, it just can't be understated. A guy who had struggled so much this year to come in and pitch the way he did when his team needed him the most. That's the stuff that winning baseball is made out of. So really good for the Rebels. And now, literally, I don't know how many Ole Miss fans in this world have been to Milwaukee. I don't know how many of you are fans of Milwaukee, but today you guys are all Milwaukeeans. Milwaukeeans.
Yeah. Big fans of cheese.
Cheese, Miller beer, pierogies and bratwurst. That is what you are today if you're an Ole Miss fan, because now I've been trying. You've told me this and I can't remember. When is the last time Ole Miss hosted a super regional?
2009.
It's going to be kind of funny if they get to host one in a year. They didn't even host a regional. Yeah, that's kind of funny, but
and it being Milwaukee of all things too.
I mean, at that point, look, it's baseball. Anything can happen. They shouldn't have won the regional, but if that happens, if Milwaukee comes to Oxford for a super regional, Ole Miss is going to Omaha.
Yep,
that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And man, what a season that would be for the Rebels.
So he says, what do y'all think about the non-reviews by Ole Miss? Like to play at first base. Those non-reviews cost them a couple of runs. Exactly. I mean, again, Kate Townsend's outing, he was erratic. He walked too many guys. How many walks did he have in the game? He had 5 walks. Okay, so he certainly didn't have his best stuff, but he got outs that ended up not being outs, whether it be misplayed ball in the outfield or like the Decker bobble, but, I mean, he was out. And I don't know how or what the process is to have like a review guy in the dugout or something, but Ole Miss needs to kind of look into how they approach challenges, because there was 2 of them that cost them runs that, simply put, they should have challenged, because those were kind of easy challenge wins. And they didn't, and it cost them and could have cost them their season. Ultimately, it did not. But, they got to re-examine how they approach that, because that game really shouldn't have been close yesterday. And it ended up being that because a couple of runs that you kind of allowed to happen. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back in just a bit.
From the flatlands of Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Every minute worth waiting for.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. So we know where State's going. We don't yet know where Ole Miss is going. Obviously, we just mentioned it could be Milwaukee and Oxford. If not, it will be Auburn on the Plains with all the temporary seating and all the stuff that they've built out there. They've done a nice job with the ballpark there at Auburn. It looks good.
Yeah.
Tough team, those Auburn Tigers.
They are, but man, that game on Friday when it was 10-0 Milwaukee, I was just like, what is going on? What a, and I'm sure we're about to get deeper into it with winners and losers, but, we talk about college baseball a lot and how it's like the sport that NIL has really pushed the top programs to the front because this is just money. And this weekend has kind of been a shot at that. 2 4 seeds have advanced to the, 2 4 seeds have advanced. The number 1 team in the nation didn't make it to the regional final of its regional. The number 2 team is in an elimination game right now. It's just so many big wins across the board in college baseball this weekend. This has been a fun weekend to watch for sure.
Baseball might be the sport that money doesn't buy wins in the most. It certainly helps.
And no.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, if you can put together a roster like Georgia's, like Georgia Tech, like Mississippi State, like Ole Miss, yeah, sure, you can do it. But you can't just go get 1 or 2 guys. You got to be fully committed to getting a roster.
Yeah, and even then, just the sport of volatility. Speaking of said volatility, Southern Miss got eliminated in their regional this week, and we got this from Nathan. It's a good long message. Said it can be true that the staff is overachieving in many ways and holding it back in others. Since 2021, here's where we have ranked in runs per game nationally. 90th, 160th, 124th, 123rd, 97th, and 150th have multiple guys on the roster who hit under 250 in high school. We are average by Sunbelt standards. Currently 26 pitchers on the roster to just 16 position players. 15 of those pitchers pitched less than 10 innings or not at all. Most second, third, and fourth-year players. Too many dead roster spots. Barry cut people regularly after 1 or 2 years. Have to in college baseball. Too much 91 to 93 with 2 pitches on the staff. Good with command and throwing strikes, but less velo than a lot of other mid-majors. No one's saying fire Oz. That would be idiotic. But it's decision time for him. If he wants his program to be more than Sunbelt champs and regional hosts, he needs to change how he's doing things.
That's a very, it's a thorough description of what's going on at Southern Miss. It just doesn't make sense. It's to the point where you're beyond bad luck or something like that, right? When it happens once or twice, it's bad luck. But what is it now? They've hosted 6 regionals, and if they only got out of 1 of them or something like that, I forget the exact stat. But this is an every year occurrence, it seems now. Where they can't, and they play so well in the regular season, and their
schedule was tough too.
They beat they beat Oregon State, who went to the regional final. They beat Ole Miss, who's going to advance. They beat Mississippi State, who's going to advance. They beat Alabama, who's going to advance. And yes, there is a difference. And Southern Miss fans don't like to hear this part, but there is a difference between playing Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Alabama on a Tuesday,
100%,
versus playing them on a series where what is that? Even if it's in Hattiesburg. If State goes down there with McPherson and Valinkis and Stone, what does that series look like? Who if Ole Miss plays them and it's Elliott and Rabe and Townsend, what does that series look like? But I think Southern Miss is good enough to win a game in those series and maybe even win the series. Who knows? But then they get into these postseason situations, and it's just every year, and I just don't understand it. And unfortunately for Southern Miss, that's just where they are right now.
Somebody says, will it be harder for Southern Miss to host in the future? I think the committee is full of human beings, and they're going to look at this and wonder. They're going to look at it and go, do we do this again?
Yeah.
And that's a fair question. Do we do this again?
And that puts the pressure on Southern Miss to have seasons like they had this year where they didn't leave a lot of doubt, right?
Yeah.
They really weren't on the hosting bubble. They were always in there. But if you go to a year where it's Southern Miss is 17th, 18th in RPI, and it's between them and what if the decision this year had been between Arkansas and Southern Miss?
Next year, if that same decision is made, it's going to be Arkansas.
It might be the SEC school. And that's fair or unfair, that's just how it's going to be because the committee's going to look at this and go, look, every year we give this team a host, and every year they don't advance. We've got to send them on the road. Well, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
So
part of me wonders, too, I don't know if this is a smart thought or not, but Ole Miss went 1 and done in Hoover last week. State went 2 and done in Hoover last week. Southern Miss, on an annual basis, is playing 1 billion games in their conference tournament. I wonder if that taxes them for the regionals. Maybe that's a dumb thought, but I mean, Ole Miss's pitching staff looked really rested and ready this past weekend.
That's something to consider when you play. When you go into a conference tournament and you go all the way to the end, I mean, you do wear yourself out a little bit, especially if you're Southern Miss and you already were hosting. It didn't matter what happened in the conference tournament. I don't know, though.
I do not know either. Hey, I'm going to call an audible live on the air. You want to go to O'Connor next and then go into winners and losers?
Sure, we can do that.
We'll do that after the news. Brian O'Connor caught up with Brian Hadad. Brian to Brian. That's a fun podcast name if you guys ever want to get together and do one.
Coach, if you're listening, hit me up.
We will bring that to you after the news. Sports Talk Mississippi on the Farm Bureau guest line, Brian O'Connor, when we come back.
Check this out.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Best line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Coach Brian O'Connor joins us as he does every week here, coming off of a regional win and a great weekend in terms of how his team played. Coach, you've won many regionals. You've won super regionals. You've been to Omaha. You've won the national title. How much do you celebrate the moment of winning when you know that it's just the first step in the process?
Well, Brian, I believe it's important for our players to enjoy success, because winning college baseball games is very hard. Winning a regional is incredibly hard. You look across the country, the teams that have had great years and their season's over. So it's hard to do what we did this weekend, to sweep a regional and play really great baseball for 3 days in a row is difficult to do. And so they need to appreciate and be grateful for and feel good about what they've accomplished. And that instills a very high level of confidence in their team. But then it's, we'll get back to work and get back out on the practice field on Tuesday to prepare for the next opportunity at Georgia.
When you look at this weekend from a starting pitching perspective, I mean, you have to be thrilled. 27 strikeouts to 2 walks from your starters. It's the first time you had all 3 of your guys, basically since the Arkansas weekend, McPherson going down in the Vanderbilt series. Is this the best weekend of starting pitching you got this season?
Oh, 100%. And what a great time of the year to get it, Brian. Obviously, Tomas Valinkis has been incredibly consistent all year, dominating most of his outings and giving his team a chance to win 11 wins. Duke Stone has grinded it out. He's had some really great performances and some tough ones where he's hung in there. And then, the plan to get McPherson back to do what he did last night was huge to see that come to fruition. So, absolutely. I think if you look across the country, I don't know if many teams had 3 starters go out and did what our guys did. And that's what it's about. It's about rising up at the most important time. And all 3 of those guys have high-level talent.
Let's talk about McPherson. No more McPherson updates. We're done with updates. We can just talk about Ryan McPherson. He pitched really well last night. And I thought that, I don't know if laboring was the right word, but, he had to get through some things, but he pitched really well, didn't walk anybody, 7 strikeouts. How did he feel after the game?
Great. He didn't know what his pitch count was, Brian. He wanted to go out there for the 6th inning, but, Coach Parker and I need to be the adults in the dugout and make the decisions, that are, best for our team, but also at the same time best for Ryan McPherson. And so he felt great, felt like he could have went out there again, and that's what we wanted. And, to see him grind through some things, right, because that's what he's going to need to do moving forward. So just really, really proud of him. The plan worked. it was all dated back from this weekend of a regional in preparing him to go out and do what he did. So just really proud of the work that he did.
Is that a situation where if it had been a tight game, you're up 1 or 2 runs, McPherson might have done another inning?
I don't know. Probably not, because, we kind of targeted the 80 to 90 pitch count threshold. And so we needed to stick by that. And we've stuck by it every step of the way. And I believe if you do things the right way, Brian, it rewards you down the road.
So let's talk about your lineup. It's been a thing in flux all season long. A guy would start this weekend and not start this weekend. It feels like at this point you can just print off the lineup card. The guys who started this weekend are going to be the guys going forward. Vitas Valencia is a big part of that. A late season guy who's really come on and hitting the ball well. Do you feel at this point in the season, it took a long time, but that you're locked into your starting 9 at this point?
Yeah, it appears that way. The way the guys are playing and performing and bouncing back, right? Game 2 of the regional, Ryder Woodson had 3 strikeouts, right? And had a single in that game. And then his maturity to be able to go out and do what he did last night is awesome. And so, it appears that way, there might be a situation that things might change, but it looks like that's the lineup that's going to be what we're going to go with moving forward.
Some players are just built for the postseason, I guess. Last season, Ryder Woodson at North Carolina State had a great regional. And that was, when I remember when Mississippi State signed him, when you signed him, it was like this kid at the end of the year was really, really good. He had a massive regional this week, and he's been hitting the ball really well these past few weeks. Is he doing something differently? Because he was struggling some mid-season. You saw with some strikeouts, but now it appears he's hitting the ball well. 2 home runs last night. Is anything changed in his approach?
No, not really. I just think that's the grind of playing every day in this league. And it's the first year that he's had to do it. He had very few at-bats and very few games played at NC State. And we loved the skill set, loved the fact that he was at his best at the end of the year last year when he got his opportunity at NC State. And so that was part of the factor in bringing him here. And listen, I knew that there would be a struggle for a little while at some point, but knew that he would come out of it. And, he's rewarding his team for his ability to handle the kind of the down slopes that can happen during the season.
What was the Bryce Chance moments like for you last night?
Oh, it was cool. I just think back to Bryce and I's conversation after I got the job at Mississippi State that, he wanted to be able to play a regional in this stadium. And so that came to fruition for him. I think, his final 2 at-bats, he had a standing ovation, which was really cool. And it just is another example, Brian, of the pride that people have for this uniform and how much it means to, the players and the fans.
And we were laughing up in the press box. He had the at-bat, I think, in the 7th. And I tweeted, maybe his last at-bat. Then he gets one in the 8th. I was like, all right, that's almost certainly his last at-bat. And then you go on a little run there, and I was thinking, if Maluski gets on, he's going to have a 3rd final at-bat at T. Noble Field and a 3rd standing ovation. So that was a lot of fun up there in those final minutes. Coach, have you ever played a team 6 times in a season?
No, I had as a player. Actually played Wichita State 8 times in 1991. But as a coach, I can't recall that it's ever been 6 times.
So there's just no getting around it. You're 0-4 against this team this year, but as we've talked about before, you've had opportunities in each and every one of those games. None of those games have been a runaway win for Georgia. It feels like for a team that's 0-4 against Georgia, you should be going over there with as much confidence as a team could possibly have in that situation. Do you feel that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we're playing our coming out of playing our best baseball, this weekend. And Georgia's got a great club, Brian. We all know that. Everybody is aware. You win the regular season handedly in the SEC. You win the SEC tournament. They've got a really dynamic club. And so, That said, we've played 4 great ball games with them, and the postseason's different, right? You get a couple of guys that rise up, and we've played pretty good on the road this year, Brian. So I like where our team's at, and we're looking forward to going to Athens.
I'm sure you weren't just locked in on squeeze play all weekend and watching a ton of games, but you've seen some of these results. Some really big upsets in these regionals. UCLA, notably going out before even making the regional final. Southern Miss loses 2 games and they're done. Auburn has struggled in their regional. So Nebraska gets knocked out. People have talked about parity kind of going away from college baseball because of NIL and bigger programs being able to get so many players. And then you see a weekend like this. In your opinion, is parity still a thing in college baseball? Is it still anybody can beat anybody at any time?
Oh, 100%. It's baseball.
Yeah.
Right? It has a lot to do with that guy on the mound. Momentum's an important part. Sometimes when you host regionals or super regionals, Brian, there's a lot of pressure on the home team because they're supposed to win, right? Everybody knows the percentages and things like that. And, playing under that kind of pressure can not be easy. And so you see that. And listen, the transfer portal benefits the non-power schools as well, right? And so and a lot of times those players, those teams have a chip on their shoulder. So I absolutely think that there's parity. You looked at last year, who was it? Murray State made it to Omaha, right? It can definitely happen, and anybody can beat anybody on a given day in this game. I think sometimes you look at like a basketball where they're lining up with the same 5 guys every night, right? Football, whatever. I think baseball is so different because it has so much to do with what do you have on that pitcher's mound, and you have to have depth. You see some of these scores in some of these regionals, some of them are football scores, right? And so I do think that there's still parity in the game of baseball.
Mississippi State travels to Athens for the Super Regional this weekend. Coach O'Connor, we hope to be able to talk to you one more time next Monday as your season continues. We'll see what happens. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Brian.
You're hearing Sports Talk Mississippi.
What?
This is so
Awesome on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi, back with you here on a Monday. It's hot outside. That means we could get after the grass if we wanted to. This weather, starting to clear up a little bit. It's time to get back in the yard. And the question we got to ask you this, doesn't matter how big it is, are you working your property or is your property working you? Right now at Ag Up, they're going to make it easier to own a John Deere compact tractor than ever before. 0% financing right now on 1 through 4 series models. If you're a first-time landowner or if you're a veteran just trying to trade up, Ag Up has the team, the people, and the know-how to get you in the right machine for your property and your budget. Stop by your local Ag Up equipment location, 15 of them across the state, so that's not too far from you. Or you can visit them at agup.com. Ag Up Equipment and John Deere, built for what's next. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details. It's Monday. It's 420, but regardless of that.
Close enough.
You know what's up. It's winners and losers.
all I do is win, no matter what. I'm a loser, baby.
We got winners. We got losers.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser.
Winner never wins.
What did you like from the weekend? What did you not like from the weekend? Send them in on the C Spire text line.
I'm supposed to say that. What is this?
879-4395. Because I want to tee one up for you. Hey, Dad, you start. Winner from the weekend.
Sacre bleu! The nation of France. Winners this weekend. A great weekend for the French people. First off, Saturday morning or afternoon, Paris Saint-Germain defeats Arsenal in the Champions League final on penalties. When I tell you that the hate watch was real on that one, you can believe me. And then on Saturday night, maybe France's greatest athlete right now, Victor Wembanyama, knocks the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder out of the NBA Finals. And we've got a matchup of New York, the biggest media market in the league, versus maybe the most unique and intriguing player in the NBA. Vive la France! Great weekend for the French. How about you? Is that where you thought I was going to go?
That is not at all.
That's why I was wondering why you teed me up. Where did you think I was going to go?
Just some reference to what State did this weekend.
No. Well, I mean, we'll get to it. We've talked plenty about it, though.
Well, we have. But so I will let you respond with one. When you win a regional, there's a lot of guys that are heroes. Will Libbert is one. Owen Pano also. I mean, not a good weekend at the plate, but if you produce runs at the plate or save runs with your defense, what difference does it make, right? You are still a plus in the run column, and he saved multiple runs this weekend. He is budding. He's starting to play like the guy that you knew he could be. You know what I mean? He went from unplayable last year to a guy that, I mean, with an average defender at shortstop this weekend, Ole Miss does not win that regional. They simply don't. So of all the guys, again, Libbert deserves a ton of credit for shutting Arizona State down. But Pano, don't look at his batting numbers. He affected the results on the field and kept runs off the board, which is the same as putting them on the board. So, yeah, 2 winners there.
Yeah, I mean, if you maybe pick one out of the Starkville Regional, it's got to be Jacob Parker. And I'm going to go into a lot more detail on tomorrow's Thunder and Lightning podcast, but this guy is very clearly of a different caliber. You know, I feel like when his career is done at Mississippi State, his name will be along Will Clark and Rafael Palmeiro and Jake Mangum and Tanner Allen in that tier of Bulldogs. He is an unbelievable player and just has gotten better throughout the season. You think about as a freshman, never really hit like a freshman wall, didn't really have a lull in his season, got better as the year went along, got better as he faced SEC pitching. It's just incredible. And 2 home runs last night, got on base 6 times in the game. What more can you say? And he was named the most outstanding player of the regional as a true freshman. And I didn't vote for him. I got to be honest. I voted for Valinkas. That's a very impressive young man, and I look forward to seeing the next few years with him here in Starkville.
The United States men's national team, the World Cup, is a week in it's 11 days from now. And Hadad, they looked really good.
Don't do this.
They looked really good.
You're going to do this to yourself.
They
Don't do it.
looked really good. Senegal is a top 10 team in the world, the best country in Africa. Mm-hmm. And we played I say we, like I'm on the team. I'm not on the team.
It's okay to just say.
I know, but I hate that. It drives me nuts because I'm not on the team. They played everybody, though, but Pulisic, he was spectacular in the first half. He only played the first half. Serginho looks good. Balogun. But I keep saying beluga like a beluga whale every time I talk about him. But the attack was just awesome. Some questions, though, about the back line, Hadad. Mm-hmm. I don't love how that looked. But they scored 5 goals against Senegal. Now, 2 of them got called back. One was barely offsides. One, a ticky-tack foul call. But the attack was awesome. That's a really good Senegal team that they beat. They looked really good and really sharp, and I am so in. I'm so bought in. It's not. I am.
Do this to yourself
oh my
again,
gosh, they did it to me. They got me. Fell for it again. Award. I'm falling for it. I'm so in after that.
I can live with it. Yeah. What about
it's all of the guys that play on European clubs that are in awesome form that looked amazing. Imagine that.
Yeah. What's your loser?
Oh, gosh. We got time for this. Over the top, everything in baseball. I understand the discourse about, you can't eject a guy there. I get all of that. But like Arizona State, their best hitter, Landon Harrison, got ejected and didn't get to play against Ole Miss in their elimination game last night, strikes out on what's probably a bad call, but not that bad, but it's probably a ball, and he steps one step away from the umpire and throws his bat up in the air. I mean, flings it up in the air after striking out. And it's, oh, you can't eject a player like him? You can't do, what do you mean you can't do that? At some point, you know better. And he's a great player. He's not a bad guy. He made a bad mistake. But he knows better. You can't strike out and then throw your bat 15 feet up in the air. If you're, what's his name from Georgia?
Trey Phelps.
I know the excuse is that his parents were sitting above the dugout. He's not talking to his parents.
No.
When you hit a home run, put your head down, point to the students in the outfield, run the bases, and high-five your teammates. Why and when did that stop being enough? Virginia had a pitcher ejected, strikes a guy out, and he starts yelling and cussing at the other dugout. How about you strike a guy out, and you get back to your dugout and high-five your teammates, and what happened to playing the game the right way? You don't have to put on a show. The game is the show. You don't have to cuss out other dugouts. Beat them by striking them out. Show them up by being better at baseball than they are. And all the discourse is, let the kids have fun. That's not fun. That's crap.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful.
And again, I'm all for some emotion, some good times, some fun. I am for some fun. But in these kind of situations, This is the national championship on the line here in some of these situations, right? You want to play for a national title. You can't make silly mistakes that cost your team. Trey Phelps is not going to play against Mississippi State on game one of this regional. That could be enough to turn the tide and give State a win. And, because why? You had to talk some smack as you were beating Liberty. You just gotta let that stuff go. So, as a guy who, I enjoy a little fire, I enjoy a little back and forth sometimes, but the people have got to be smarter about what they're doing. And with Hairston, you don't think Arizona State would have liked to have had Hairston's bat in a one-run game last night?
It very well could have been the difference.
Could absolutely have been the difference.
And he had a bad weekend, and he was frustrated, but you can't throw your bat up in the air after you strike out.
No, you cannot.
And it's not like a little flip where he was holding the end of the bat and just kind of flipped it and caught the barrel. He threw it up in the air. You can't do stuff like that. And I really, one thing that bothers me about the way people criticize officials, you can't call it there.
No,
what do you mean you can't call it there?
You absolutely can call it there.
If you can't call it there, then you can't call it ever. A foul should be a foul. A touchdown should be a touchdown. A personal foul should be a personal foul at any point in the game, whether it's in September or in the Super Bowl. So I don't like that part of the conversation either.
Yeah.
Control yourself and respect your opponent. What happened to that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man. But
you are that.
I am that. But he was just pointing to his parents. Oh, okay, guys. Okay, sure. Yeah, I talk to my dad that way for sure. I gesture at my dad like that. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
You could do it once.
He would come out of the stadium.
Yeah.
And whoop me in front of everybody.
You could absolutely do it one time. That's probably it, though.
We'll get to some of your winners and losers when we come back.
Come on.
Are we going to do this?
Back to Sports Talk, Mississippi.
Keep rolling. 3, 2, 1.
Super Talk, Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Borkey and Hadad with you. We got any more winners and losers for you, by the way? You got?
No, I think we're good. We can move to the C Spire text line where we have a lot of people wanting to get theirs in.
Winners, State and Ole Miss baseball. Losers, the baseball media gaslighting people on Twitter saying the Georgia player was waving at his parents in the crowd.
It's too like. I read the tweet and I was like, okay, well, I need to find the video. And as soon as I saw the video, I was like, I don't know how anybody could watch this and come away saying he was waving to his parents. Like where his parents on the other side of the crowd, too, because he was waving the whole way around the bases.
The whole way. And then you see the Liberty dugout react. Like, they kind of make the, what the hell, man? Like, what are you doing?
What's up with that? Yeah.
Bill says, even though they got beat 2 in a row, Mississippi State's a winner for making the College World Series in softball.
Agreed.
Loser, UCLA. That's gross, having the season that they had, getting
That's a tough
2
one.
and Q'd in your regional.
Well, they did win one.
Oh, yeah, they beat, who they beat?
They beat Virginia Tech. But even that game
was close.
Like, Virginia Tech had the winning run on in the bottom of the 9th and couldn't get it done. So they almost did get 2 and done.
Yeah.
But yes, but still, they lost as many games to St. Mary's as they lost in the Big Ten this year. That's a real stat.
That's amazing.
They lost 2 games in conference play this year.
Oof.
Big Ten, not much for baseball.
Somebody says, loser, the OKC Floppers, they didn't win. Go Knicks.
Let me tell you something. Watching, when I was in Twitter jail on Saturday night, I was like, well, might as well watch the game. So I'm sitting, it's me, Lakers fan. I'm sitting next to Sam, Timberwolves fan. He's from Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
Behind us, Carlo Barone. He's a Pacers fan. He's from Indiana, right? Next to him, Colin Dams, writes for 1-3. He's from Ohio. He's a Cavs fan. There was another guy back there. I didn't catch his name or his fan base, but he clearly was united in hatred of the Thunder. And we're just like, the Thunder are a disease.
It's really hard for a small market team that's good to be disliked.
They are despised. Nobody likes them. So, yes. Sorry to those if you're a Thunder fan, but
yeah, I'm going to get the Knicks, though.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Winner, Walker Hooks pitching. Yes, he was very good. Winner, the Spurs. Loser, UCLA. Let's see. Hayden Federico, winner, had an awesome weekend. He was spectacular. Hold on.
And he was good in the final week of the season, wasn't he?
He had he had 4 hits in game 1. He was 4 for 7. He had 7 at bats. Was 2 for 4. Also walked in game 2, and then was 1 for 3 and walked twice in game 3. Yeah, that's a hell of a weekend.
Good weekend. Yeah.
And he's got, you know how sometimes, I hate saying stuff like this because you can't quantify it, like, oh, that team just wanted it more. You could just see it in his body language and everything. He wanted that more than anybody else on the field.
Yeah.
Like, he played, like, his emotions and all of that, his energy level was as good as the play on the field. Somebody says Cardoso being hurt really sucks for USA. Yeah, our backline's in trouble, but well, when Richards is healthy, that helps a ton. But he's got to stay healthy.
When he doesn't tear all the ligaments in his ankle?
He's got to stay healthy, though. Yeah. Winner, state crowd for living up to expectations. Hey, we told you about the attendance number thing, though. They underreport.
They do. But the crowds were still good, especially the Saturday night crowd.
Yep. More winners, Ole Miss pitching, State hitting losers. Southern Miss, Arkansas for thinking they needed a regional, and UCLA. And also Georgia, a loser for only having 3,600 seats in their stadium.
I have a thought, by the way, on hosting regionals.
Okay.
So, State has the Hawkeye technology, right? So they can get that super clear picture of the base and for out and safe. But because not everybody who hosted a regional has that technology, State not allowed to use it this weekend. And so we're sitting there looking at it out and safe and 56K. I'm like, I think he's safe. I think
that happened in Lincoln this past weekend.
So here's where I am. I assume that ABS is going to be a thing next year in the SEC. And Hawkeye is obviously a thing in the SEC already. Going forward, the NCAA just needs to tell teams, if you don't have these things in your stadium, you cannot host.
It is a condition.
It is a condition of hosting that you're going to make the investment to have, because we need them for the integrity of the game. So we're making sure we get these calls right. You got to have these things. And if you can't have it, well, then you can't host. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not 1988 anymore.
Right.
High schools. And that's not disrespect to high schools.
The NCAA is saying, well, they don't have it, so nobody can use it. So if nobody else sold hot dogs, Mississippi State couldn't sell hot dogs? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
I thought this was America.
Especially when, like you said right there, it impacts the integrity of the result on the field.
Yeah.
You're trying to determine a champion, and it could be this much. Ole Miss almost got by bad replay.
Mm-hmm.
They won, but when you got a play that's this close and that determines a winner and loser, and you're looking at Minecraft-level pixelation, it's unacceptable.
Agreed.
John says, winner, Reed Stallman. Defense at first was outstanding. Little Rock
Really
and
good.
St. Mary's.
Really good. Little Rock, St. Mary's. Well, St. Mary's didn't make it out of the Super Regional, but that's a lot of fun. But how many? We've got 2 4 seeds that are in already, right, with St. John's and Little Rock. And we could have one more tonight with Milwaukee. So we shall see.
Yeah. Somebody said, Alms need to tamp down what's being said by players in the dugout, too. Yeah, you pick that stuff up on broadcast now. It's like, I can't believe they're allowing that. More importantly, I can't believe the coaches in the dugouts are allowing their players to talk like that to other players.
In the pros, by the way, what happened in Georgia, I don't think he gets thrown out. I think they just tell him, you just know the next time he comes up, he's going to wear one, and it'll probably be okay. But you don't want to have that in college. I understand that.
Winner me, because I just tuned in to hear just in time to hear a good old man Borkey rant. You know I'm right, though. You know it's gone too far.
It has.
Loser, Southern Miss baseball. Southern Miss should buy every season ticket holder 2 beers at...
Winner, the guy... No, I'm not... Never mind. I didn't read the tweet before I read... I didn't read the text before I read the text.
Yeah, okay.
I fell victim to my own... rule.
Here's another. Here's Old Man Yells at Cloud Tape.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wear a shirt referencing your former football coach to a baseball win and you go to a super regional game.
Yeah.
Because for the last few weeks, it's been all Lane Kiffin's talking about Ole Miss too much. Well, aren't you kind of feeding right back into that by you're at a baseball game? Wear that in the Grove on September 19th, but
yeah.
Why are people excited that a baseball game is being made about Lane Kiffin? But whatever.
Yeah. Winner, Squeeze Play is such a great show. It needs to happen in late April each season. Loser, college football for not having a Squeeze Play. Would love one with Josh Payton, someone else co-hosting. College football absolutely needs an NFL Red Zone kind of show.
ESPN owns so much college football. Why don't they do it already?
It's crazy that they don't do it. And look, you could do it by conference. You could, and that's what I'm telling you. I could give you 8 or 9 shows to sell to advertisers. SEC, call it what you want. I don't think you can call it Red Zone, but you figure it out. SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and it's because otherwise it's too big, right? There's so many games. But if you break it down by conference, and it's like, all right, we're going to Mississippi State, Minnesota here. Let's see what the Bulldogs are up to. Or we're going to Ole Miss Charlotte. It's just kicked off. We've had a big play already. Let's go there. And you break it down by conference, and that's something to sell to advertisers.
So this has been talked about already,
Sankey,
right?
If you're listening.
It's been talked about. Because Red Zone is allowing the branding to be used if they want to.
Oh, okay.
But the conversation was, because it's not just ESPN, they don't think that Fox and CBS, who owns the Big Ten, would get involved. Here's my response. Okay. You don't have to. I'll have the ACC and the Big 12 and the SEC and any marquee games that are going through here. We'll focus on the big ones, but we'll do that, and you guys can be out over there. And the average sports fan that is not deep into a college football team, but that just wants to sit on their couch and watch Red Zone all day, they'll watch all of our games. And they won't watch yours. They'll watch ours. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Big Ten don't want to be involved? Okay. Fine. Your Minnesota-Rutgers game won't show up on our Red Zone feed. And tell me how many people watch it. That's what I would do.
College football has a problem of not being able just to tell people, get on board or get out of the way. They have it with the Rose Bowl. They have it with it's just too many people we don't want to do that. Okay. You're not part of the plan anymore. Congratulations, Rose Bowl. Now you're going to get Minnesota versus Big Ten, I don't know. Kansas State this year.
Yeah.
And we're going to give the Holiday Bowl down in San Diego that spot, and they'll get Ohio State versus Alabama.
Perfect.
Yeah. Enjoy your parade.
Winner, Kewan Lacey, College Football 27 cover. Yes, he's one of 3 cover athletes.
I didn't buy last year. I need to buy a new copy.
You're going to buy the copy with Kewan on it?
I bought the one that had isn't this the second time an Ole Miss guy was on the cover?
Kiffin was on it.
I don't have that one. I guess the
first one had. Hey, remember the first one had like 50 players.
Yeah, yeah.
This one's only 3.
So yeah, but
what does that pay? I wonder.
It's not bad, I'm sure.
Not as much as Madden, I would bet, but it's probably a hefty little payday for Q1.
It's a nice payday, yeah, for sure. You get a free copy of the game, too.
Hey, there you go. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll keep on with winners and losers when we come back.
And the Venom.
Come on. Super Talk Mississippi.
Check this out.
Are you ready? Yeah. Sports Talk Mississippi.
A few more of your winners and losers on the text line. We got a ton. Too many to read. We'll just end up reading winners and losers for the next 4 hours. But winner Owen Pano for unbelievable line drive catch. Also great hit and a pivotal moment in the game. Absolutely. Winner. Somebody to name. Actually, Starkville was awesome. Loser, the NCAA ESPN for starting the Auburn game at 10:30 p.m. Should have played a doubleheader today.
That's tough.
Looks like they don't care about the players or fans at all. What was it, Tallahassee, where they really screwed up, like putting tarp on, taking it off?
I need to find the clip. Apparently, Kevin Schnall, the Coastal coach, really ripped into them. So
he did. Not near as bad as O'Sullivan did his ground crew last year. Still. But Key says, winner, Pearl River Community College national champion baseball and softball teams.
Saw that.
Let's see. My students are winners. Mike in Oxford going viral in the Ole Miss circles over the weekend.
His students went viral?
No, just his students caused him to go viral. As it turns out.
I got you.
Where were these virtuous officials when Tennessee was celebrating bombs with double birds? See, but hey, I'm on record at the time. That should be immediate ejection too. I didn't like it then, so I'm at least consistent with that. I don't even like the dancing after doubles on second base. Just, pump up your teammates. Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Federico and Pano definitely carrying the Rebs right now. And that pitching staff. Michael Katz had the stat, 4 runs given up by the Ole Miss bullpen this weekend. 17 innings, 4 runs. On only 2 hits produced those 4 runs. They were 2-run home runs. Now, of course, to get guys on base, other things happen. But they gave up runs on just 2 hits in 17 innings over the weekend. Joel Mangrum is earning whatever his paycheck is as the pitching coach at Ole Miss.
It's kind of funny. Ole Miss's bullpen was great. Fantastic. It's probably what won them the weekend, right? And at Starkville, it was the other way around. It was the Mississippi State starting pitching that was just outstanding this weekend.
Winner Ryder Woodson, great weekend.
Yeah, he had fantastic weekend. Had 2 home runs last night. Starting to figure some things out. And postseason Woodson, I don't know if you remember, when State signed him out of the portal, it was kind of off the strength of he had a great regional at Auburn last year when he was with NC State. Had, I think, 2 or 3 home runs in that regional. It kind of put him on the map. And now he's getting there as well. He looked really, really good this weekend.
Winner the Rams for the Myles Garrett trade. They did give up a former first-rounder and a first, second, and third-rounder for him.
I think the Browns may have won that trade because Verse is a good player. And they got a first, a second, and a third. But that said, in the short term, the Rams are very much in win-now mode, and that certainly helps.
If you're in win-now mode, why did you draft Ty Simpson? Sean McVay was so mad on
that's
draft
the other
night.
side of that question, yeah, for sure.
Winner Dom Decker had the walk-off last night. Mm-hmm. Another one. The point is made clear, but isn't it crazy the hosting team doesn't get to be the home team of a series final in their regional? It makes no sense at all.
Yeah. I can't help but agree. You know, it really should be. It's seeding, right? The top seed should always be, the higher seed should always be the home team.
Always.
It's seeded.
That's what the regular season's for.
Exactly. So, I don't get it, but it is what it is.
What's the deal with South Carolina and the coaching hire? I don't know.
What's the deal with South Carolina?
They got a lot of problems as an athletic department right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm just saying.
Just wait until Beamer goes 5-7 and they fire him, and oof.
Could be some big issues there.
Who are going to be the coaches, the hot coaches, that are available to hire next year, if that makes sense?
So, somebody asked me about that this weekend. We were out tailgating before the game. They're like, if it doesn't go good for Lebby, who are the names to know? And I said, obviously outside of Mullen, I don't know that list right now. Like G.J. Kinney, his name has kind of dropped down a little bit. He hasn't had the great success. Huff would be a name to know. I mean, got to figure he's probably getting close to. If he has a big year at Memphis, a big job could await him.
I would look into PJ Fleck. I would look into it.
I think it might be time to move on. But, I mean, at the same time,
he's been there a while.
What are you getting with PJ Fleck?
Stability.
Yeah, but is stability what you want nowadays? Are you going to be a team that's just happy winning 8 games every year? I mean, if you are, you could do a lot worse, I would think. Yeah. I think he'll certainly be okay. But
but who would those be? That's a good question.
It's a good question. It's something that those names will pop up throughout the season.
I wonder if you're a South Carolina.
Is Weiss a name?
For an SEC job, no.
No, but, could...
For like a Tulane or that kind of job, yes. I don't know if you would...
Well, that's the thing, though. I would stay unless I was going to get a real... You say that, there's some Power 5 schools, Power 4 schools that will hire a coordinator. If Weiss has a great year, LSU is good, and Levitt takes a big step forward, why not take a chance on him?
Clark Lee could be one. I know he's at his alma mater, and he's happy and all that, but... let's pretend Vanderbilt goes 7-5 or 8-4 this year. He'll be a hot name.
Possibly.
College football fix when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi. Thank you guys for being a part of winners and losers and our show. We'll get to the college football fix and then we'll go right back to baseball because super regionals, man. Ole Miss and Mississippi State in the super regionals. Great stuff all around. 2 hours in the books. We will be right back with your college football fix.
Let the broadcasting of the disturbed continue.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad on this Monday where 2 teams from Mississippi punch the ticket to the Super Regionals. What is that? Okay, so 1/8. What is the percentage of 1/8?
It's like 12.
So 12% of the remaining teams in college baseball come from right here in the state of Mississippi.
12.5.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're not math guys. That's pretty good.
Well, because I am a math guy on this one. 2/8 would be 25%. So what's half of that is 12.5.
12.5. 12.5% of the remaining teams in college baseball are from right here.
There's only one problem with your theory. There are 16 teams remaining.
Yeah, but so 2 of 16 is 1/8.
Okay, all right, never mind. You're correct. The math was right.
Let's go.
All right. Yes.
Not a math guy. I am a college football guy. We will get back to baseball, I promise, but we got to do it right now. It's the college football fix.
The college football fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough, the best-selling truck in America sure is, the Ford F-150. Are you looking for a new truck? Is it time to buy new? Is it time to get something new? Is your name Richard Cross and you need something new? Go visit your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Thank you for your attention to this match.
Tyler cracking me up. I know Borkey ain't rooting for Milwaukee tonight, right? You'd rather have to earn it, having to go through Plainsman Park the right way, right? Tyler, of course, our resident Auburn fan. I responded, Tyler, ... Tyler. Okay, so we mentioned the Kewan Lacey getting the cover of the college football video game. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, recruiting. Now, there's always this caveat that has to get applied to high school recruiting. It is June 1st. There's a long way to go before signing day. It's also the portal era. Guys leave. So that does happen. it's still better to acquire super talented players because not all of them leave. You do keep players on your roster. That is a thing that does happen. And so you still have to recruit at the high school level. And Ole Miss this weekend, a trio of 4 stars for Ole Miss this weekend. Started with an edge. Marvin, is it?
Go ahead.
Nguettsop. We'll go with that. Marvin chose Ole Miss over Michigan and Penn State. And he's actually only been living in the States for just a few years. He's based in Connecticut now, but he came to the States to play football. He's massive. There's a picture of him floating around standing next to DK Metcalf, and DK looks like this dude's little brother. He's every bit of a 6'7" edge.
I'm going to go with the N is silent. He just gets up.
Gets up. Yeah. Gets up, gets a sack. There you go, David Kellum. I got you.
Gets up the field.
So there's number 1. And then number 2, a wide receiver, Miguel Whitley's a 4-star from New Orleans, actually, is where he's from. And he is off to Ole Miss as well. And then the last one, a linebacker, Jeremiah Culpepper. He also committed to Ole Miss. Again, all of them are 4 stars. And Ole Miss, I think, is 1 4-star away from matching their total from the 2025 recruiting class, which was ranked 16th in the country. So recruiting still going very well. Now, again, bad football can change that. But like we've pointed out before, yes, there's been a coaching change, but the portal class was really good. And now the recruiting class is setting up nicely. They have not lost momentum as a program despite the coaching change. Again, everything can change if you start losing games on the field, or it can maintain if you keep winning games. But for right now, Pete Golding and that staff have done a really good job of maintaining the level of talent acquisition within the program despite a coaching change. That's a really solid weekend, 3 4-stars.
You can't complain about it. I'll tell you that. You know, that is getting it done. And, you know, you mentioned it earlier, especially with out-of-state players. Mm-hmm. You gotta monitor that. You never know. But, again, it's better to have them in the boat than not. And it's easier to keep guys in the boat nowadays, I think. So, good start for Pete Golding. I don't think talent acquisition will be a problem for his tenure at Ole Miss.
I don't think so either.
You know, if you're asking me, why would you not think Golding would be successful? It's just about being a first-time head coach and the tribulations that come with that from time to time.
Very fair.
But I think, you know, he'll be a good recruiter. He's been a good recruiter everywhere he's been. You know, a lot of the, you know, when he came from Alabama, there was a lot of, well, he was at Alabama and it's easy to recruit there. And look, it is easier, but you still got to get those guys. You are still recruiting against the other top programs, and he got guys in there all the time. So I don't think talent acquisition is going anywhere for Ole Miss. I expect that roster to stay very talented throughout his tenure. Yeah. So just quick, you mentioned it. Auburn did announce they did move the game to 8. Apparently they're having some weather.
Goodness gracious. They can't escape it this weekend. Just brutal there.
It's so funny. In state, we had some rain, but it did not affect anything.
How did that happen?
Don't know. Very rare.
How did that happen? Good stuff, though. So good weekend recruiting for Ole Miss. Did you see Brent Key, by the way? So Georgia Tech hosting a regional. Brent Key, if you guys aren't familiar, is Georgia Tech's head football coach.
He is.
Oklahoma. Oh, gosh. What's Oklahoma's baseball coach's name?
Skip Johnson.
Skip Johnson is walking out to the mound to make a pitching change, and they cut to the crowd, and there's Brent Key. He's a big guy. Yeah. And he's sitting there booing Skip Johnson and the crowd. He's yelling and booing Oklahoma's coach as he takes the field to make a pitching change. I love when coaches are that invested in the school like that. It cracked me up so bad. Hey, Dad, have you seen that video?
I haven't seen it. I need to find that.
Oh, he's just like every other regular old fan sitting in the stands, except for he is their
head
football coach.
Exactly.
Levy went to the tennis matches, didn't he? He probably stood out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I think he was he is one of those guys, and most football coaches are going to be this way because they would most of the time when they do that, they want to actually watch the game, and it's tough to do that if you are just out in the stands. Now, I've seen Levy in the left field a few times when he had recruits and stuff, but my guess is he goes and he's somebody's skybox is available to him.
Yeah. Yeah, unless he loses to Minnesota in week 2, and then, buddy, no more.
Then nothing's going to be
No skybox for you.
Yeah. Nothing. No job for you.
You get nothing. You lose.
Good day, sir. Exactly. You're on the right page.
Anything recruit? So this is kind of a dead year in recruiting, which is what made that weekend for Ole Miss so interesting. Anything on the state front people need to keep an eye on when it comes to recruiting?
State had some official visitors up here this weekend, but no potential commitments at this time right now. Remember last year, State was very slow with the recruiting. They're ahead of where they were a season ago, but State did a lot of it's kind of backwards. We think about Mississippi State through the years. They've always been a team that fill up its class by kickoff of the first game and then just kind of hold on for dear life. Last year, State was very, very slow, and then the last month of the recruiting process is when they bring in guys like Micah Nickerson and Braylon Womack and those guys. So, it's just I think a lot of recruits when it comes to Mississippi State are playing the waiting game right now. They want to see if Levy's even going to be there at the end of the season, or is he going to make any progress, and before they're going to make any kind of commitments to Mississippi State.
Yeah, sometimes it's really that simple.
It really is. It is. Sometimes it really is just about wins and losses. Recruits aren't dumb. They see what's going on there and say, look, I like Jeff Lebby, but, is he even going to be the head coach there? He's had 2 losing seasons in a row. What happens if he has a third one? So they have to wait.
Yes, they do. Somebody says, just say it, Brian, we suck. No.
I'm not going to say that the last 2 years haven't sucked. Lebby is 7-18 as the head coach. What do you want?
When you say it like that.
If that doesn't suck, what does? I don't know the answer. If that's not bad enough.
6-19?
That would be worse.
That would be worse. Arkansas's been there.
Yeah. So, he's got to be better.
Schedule more difficult or less difficult than last year?
More. You got an extra SEC game.
That is calculus, by the way, that people are not accounting for when it comes to playoffs and expectations and all that stuff. The league has to lose 8 more games. And Arkansas can't lose all 8 of those games.
Right.
Good teams have to lose those games. When people talk about
the Super League, they're like, it's going to be 32 teams. Okay. Pick the top 32 teams. One of those teams is going like 2-10 every year.
Yep. Nobody's
doing 32 teams, guys. They might do 64. Because that way you could have some teams that are, current, that would just be happy for the check, right?
Yeah,
but
Purdue.
You go to 32, and there's going to be years where Alabama is 3-9, and Georgia is 3-9. They're not signing up for that ever.
No, people aren't talking about that this offseason. 8 more teams have to lose 1 more game in the SEC.
Yep.
It's your college football fix driven by Ford. We will get back to baseball when we come back. We're in the Pearl River Resort studio, by the way. Hey, golf weather. I know it's a little hot.
You say we're going to be doing baseball? We have 2 teams to get to on the countdown.
Oh, goodness gracious. We'll knock one of those out when we come back. And then go to baseball.
And the Venable Glass.
Here we go. Sports Talk Mississippi. Here's more. Super Talk Mississippi.
We got 2 teams to get to, so let's knock one out right now. Team number 90 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days.
This day is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This day is bananas.
100 teams in 100 days.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
It's the final countdown.
We go to the Fun Belt for team number 90, just 1 state over. Troy, the Trojans of Troy. I like the pace of this one. It's a good fight song.
There you go.
Yeah. They play at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Looks like a pretty good place to watch a football game there. Just over 30,000 people can see a game there at Troy, on the campus of Troy, in Troy. Have I said Troy enough? Brad Pitt. Troy. Great movie. We're here to talk about Troy football, though. Gerard Parker is their head coach. He enters year 3. Remember, he was the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame before getting the Troy job. And year 1 did not go well. Year 2, better. He played wide receiver, though, at Kentucky. Here's part of his bio. During Parker's career at Kentucky, he went through 3 head coaches, 2 broken collarbones, and a leg injury. Had a tough go of it, did Gerard Parker in college. But he's bounced around Big Ten land for a while as a coach before landing at Troy. He was also an interim coach at Purdue in 2016. Head coach got fired halfway through the season, and he coached them to an 0-6 record. But that's not his fault. I mean, he was the interim coach at Purdue. 4-8 in year 1, 8-6 last year. They opened with a win over Nichols. Remember, they went to Clemson, and Clemson had to come back to beat Troy that day. And that was really when people thought, this is really over for Dabo. Troy's kind of slapping them around in their own backyard. They came back and won that game, but still not a good look. They lost to Memphis, but beat Buffalo, beat South Alabama and Texas State in back-to-back weeks in overtime, each of those games. Then beat ULM in Louisiana before a home loss to Arkansas State. Then they got blanked at Old Dominion 33-0, but they ended the season strong. They beat Georgia State. Then they won at Southern Miss. Remember, for Southern Miss, that was a win, and you're in the Sun Belt Championship game. Troy ended up winning that one. They lost to James Madison in the Sun Belt Championship. They could have played spoiler for the Dukes, but, of course, remember, that was Troy. They were getting pelted with snowballs. Their punter was getting hit with snowballs when he was lining up to punt the ball away at James Madison.
Yeah. And
then they lost in the Veterans Bowl to Jacksonville State for an 8-6 record. This year, they opened with Sam Houston and Alabama State before going to Missouri in Week 3 and then Utah State in Week 4. It's just a tough non-conference schedule for them, those last 2 games. They start conference play at home against Southern Miss before going to Louisiana. They host ULM. Go to James Madison, host Louisiana Tech. And go to South Alabama, host Georgia Southern before finishing the season at Arkansas State. There it is.
Probably going to be a 7-8 win team. I mean, they'll be, Troy's pretty consistent. I mean, that's a good football team, good football program. They tend to continue to have success year after year, and I won't expect to be this year to be any different. All right. We're kind of in our wheelhouse on this one, right? We're in Troy, Alabama. Our number 1 restaurant is a Southern Meat and 3 restaurant. So we aren't having, you're in the middle of the Deep South, here's sushi kind of thing happening here.
Yeah.
This. We're going to Sister's Restaurant in Troy. I've got the Monday menu pulled up right here, Michael Borkey. Get you a meat and 3 for only how much is it? Meat and 3, $12.50. Today's choices were fried pork chop, fried chicken fingers, baked chicken breast, hamburger steak with cream corn, turnips, butter beans, potato salad, dressing, rice and gravy, string beans, fried okra, rutabagas. You don't see that very often. Sweet potato souffle. You can add a tea for $1. And don't forget to save room for their homemade desserts. Today it was banana pudding, peach cobbler, strawberry shortcake, and caramel cheesecake. You're talking about you're going to get pretty full at this place for less than $20.
That's the kind of place
that's what we're
that
talking about.
Supposed to be.
So, Sister's Restaurant in Troy. If you're a Golden Eagle fan, you're headed to Troy sometime. You know where to stop and grab lunch and get a lot of it. Apparently, their reviews are a little down right now because it used to be a buffet. So people are like, I'm mad it's not a buffet anymore. But it is a meat and 3 place now. What's the go-to Michael Borkey blue plate choices?
Oh, man, well, it depends on the options, right?
Well, let's just think like a typical place. What do they got? What they got on the menu?
Mashed potatoes and gravy and mac and cheese are the sides. Got to stay healthy.
You got to have it's 3. It's 3.
Oh, gosh, again, it depends. I actually do like a good coleslaw.
Okay. That's a little weird.
I do like.
And then what's your meat of choice? The most important part.
I do love a good country fried steak.
Oh, okay.
With gravy on it.
Country fried steak. Now we're talking. That's a little off the radar. And then biscuit or cornbread?
Biscuit.
My man. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Obviously, with me, I'm going fried chicken. Got to have fried chicken. I will go fried catfish, though. You don't have to twist my arm too hard on that. Mac and cheese for sure. Do they have grits? If I get some cheese grits, I'll go that route. And then green beans or fried okra. Fried okra is always a fine choice for me. Obviously, a biscuit. That would be right up my alley. The only place I eat cornbread, there's a place here in town that has sweet potato cornbread. I'll eat that. Or that's where when I go there, I go blackened catfish with crawfish sauce, mac and cheese, cheese grits, and cornbread. That's my blue plate of choice. That's the Hadad. And I asked for an extra fillet of catfish.
My man.
Which they will give you. You guys have to ask. Mac and cheese is a veggie, says Zach from the coast. No further questions, Your Honor. Correct. Black-eyed peas, turnip greens, fried okra is the pinnacle 3. Okay. Yeah, that's something I enjoy introducing Northerners to. When they come down here and they're like, first off, what's a blue plate? They don't know what that is. And then, what do you mean mac and cheese is a veggie? It's 100% a veggie. It's made with wheat.
Unless you've traveled up north, you don't realize it's stereotypes sometimes are not accurate, right?
Mm-hmm. But
they don't season their food the way that we do.
No, they don't.
It's wild.
Well, it's not the north either.
There.
It's also on the West Coast too. If you go eat in California, like a little salt and pepper doesn't kill anybody, guys.
Yeah, and you'll go there, it'll just be so plain.
So I don't know if I told you this. So when I went to New York City, I went and ate a steak with Brandon Walker, and he was like, "Look, when the steak comes, you need to ask for some salt and pepper." I was like, "Hold on, like we're at this is a world famous steakhouse. You're telling me I'm gonna have to season my steak?" He's like, "They don't understand." They don't. And that steak came out, and it looked beautiful, and it was perfectly cooked. I took a bite, and I was like, I'll be darned. You're exactly correct. So I had to put a little salt and pepper on it.
That's crazy.
Like, how do you not understand how to season your food?
No. It's a real thing. If you're not sneezing, it ain't seasoned. There's a guy that I forget his name. I would give him a shout-out that does Cajun cooking on Instagram, and that's his line. If you guys watch him, I want to give him a shout out because he's awesome. But that's his line. He's like, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't season.
Tyler in Foxworth. I didn't know how hungry I was until I was listening to Sports Talk today. Well, what we're here for.
You're welcome. So he says peach cobbler as a third side. Ooh, I like sweet potato casseroles too. Ooh, those are good. I like the mushroom tops better than the pecan tops though.
There used to be a restaurant here in town that did blue plates, and then one of your choices for a dessert was blackberry cobbler with vanilla ice cream in it. You didn't have to twist my arm very much to get me to order that.
So he says, I introduced sweet tea to a family member in
Brainerd?
I was about to say Bernard.
No.
Minnesota in 1999.
There's a book about a guy who comes down here, and he lived in the north, and like he was going to stay with a Mississippi family. And when he arrives the first day, they're like, "Would you like some tea?" And he's like, "Yeah, that would be great." And he thinks he's going to get a little hot cup of tea, and they put a glass of sweet tea in front of him. He didn't know what to do. It's like, "What is this?" He took a sip of it. He's like, "Oh my god!" So,
oh man,
but it's better.
It's
better down here.
Yeah, it is. That actually is. I've got family that live all up north. I visited them. It's not hyperbole. It's not as good.
Yeah,
simply not as good. You know, it has been good though.
By the way,
weekend.
did you say mushroom?
I didn't mean mushroom. I meant marshmallow, not mushroom top.
I've been thinking about that for the past couple seconds.
Not mushroom.
Somebody brought it up on the C-Spire.
Marshmallow
over pecan. Okay,
over pecan.
That's acceptable. Mushroom would have been weird.
That would have been so weird.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try it just to see how weird that actually is, but yeah. No, but what is good and what has been good is the baseball this weekend. We'll take a look at that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi. So glad you guys are with us in the Pearl River Resort Studio. If you missed our conversation, though, we went game by game for State and Ole Miss. In the first hour, we did winners and losers. We heard from Brian O'Connor. Sports Talk Mississippi, wherever you get your podcast, just search for that. You can find us there. We'll be back in a bit.
Comes more Sports Talk Mississippi.
You ready, guys?
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Number 1 overall seed UCLA went down in their own regional.
They're out of here.
Cal Poly is who advanced out of that one.
That's the thing that's funny, by the way, is St. Mary's is the big story, but they didn't make it to the Super Regional.
Yeah. They are opposite West Virginia or Kentucky. That game going on right now. West Virginia has a 1-0 lead over Kentucky in the second. So that winner will face and host Cal Poly.
Yeah.
Opposite the bracket, you've got Kansas, who won the Kansas Regional. Impressive showing from the Jayhawks. There's a lot of questions, and they answered them all.
Dan Fitzgerald will be at a different program very soon.
Very, very soon.
Tennessee, maybe?
No, Tennessee's going to ride with that for at least another year, aren't they? Or are they?
I don't know.
Remember, they gave him a fat contract. Gave him a 6-year deal.
I don't know how to tell you this, but Jimbo Fisher had a fat contract at one time.
Yeah, that's football, though.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time.
And they weren't paying players back then.
I understand all of these things.
Georgia Tech and Oklahoma are in extra innings right now, actually. Tied at 7 in the 10th. Winner will go on to face Kansas. Hattiesburg Regional, you guys already know. Little Rock advanced out of that one. What an impressive story. That's also a guy that's not going to be at Little Rock.
Chris Curry, former Diamond Dog, former Mississippi State baseball player.
There are a lot of coastal people that want him to replace their have yet to leave coach.
That's coming soon.
Yeah, his answer after they lost about, do you have a message to coastal fans? And it was basically like, yeah, I mean, we're winning. So that's good.
There you go.
It's like, thanks, Coach. Very inspiring. But yes, Little Rock comes out of Hattiesburg. They will face the winner of a game going on right now. You've got a bunch of games happening today. 6 games in total happening today. Troy has a 2-0 lead over Florida in the second right now. The winner of that will face and host Little Rock. Opposite that, Alabama. I don't know. Did they cruise through the region? I don't think they cruised. There's a couple tight spots.
They had some moments of trepidation, shall we say.
But they took care of their regional, and their crowd was not satisfactory to their head coach at all. And honestly, I don't blame them.
That's another one where you say when the coach is like, "Where are my fans, buddy?" You're moving on as soon as you can.
And his weren't there. Empty seats everywhere. What more can you want, Alabama? If you're not supporting this baseball program, then you're not supporting any baseball program, if that makes sense.
Agreed.
So, and then how about this? The Tallahassee Regional that obviously had Florida State and Coastal Carolina, and it's the Johnnies. St. John's comes out of that one. They beat Florida State today 5-4, and they are moving
undefeated.
On.
Didn't lose a game.
That's wild.
Beat Florida State twice, so another 1 seed down there, yeah.
North Carolina got through.
Oklahoma's got the lead. Oh, that's the game.
That's ball game. That was bottom 10.
Oklahoma is, oh my gosh, the 1 and the 2 are out.
Oklahoma knocks off Georgia Tech. They will face Kansas. And that will be in Lawrence.
Lawrence will host the Super Regional. Wow.
Man. It's almost like the SEC is a really good baseball league. Call me crazy, but anyway. North Carolina gets through their regional without a loss. They will face the winner of late night tonight, Southern Cal, Texas A&M, starting at 8 o'clock. The winner of that game will go to North Carolina. Other side of that bracket's already decided. Texas cruised through their regional, and they will face Oregon, who also was the 1 seed in that regional, and they moved on.
They played really well in that regional, I thought. They were outstanding.
We already know what happened in Lincoln. You guys may remember. You may have been sleeping when it happened, all things considered. But Ole Miss gets through unscathed in the Lincoln, Nebraska regional. They will face the winner of Auburn and Milwaukee tonight. That is now at 7 o'clock because of weather. Opposite that, you guys already know. And I say opposite, by the way. I think Ole Miss will play. If Ole Miss can get through the Super, they would play whoever gets through North Carolina's Super, right? I think I have that correctly.
So, you're talking about in Omaha?
Yes.
So, Ole Miss is...
State is on the other side of Ole Miss's bracket.
Yeah. State and Ole Miss would only play in the final.
Yes.
So, Ole Miss is... They are technically the 5 seed, right? Because Auburn would be out.
Yes.
So, they would play the 4 seed in the first
Auburn
round.
would be Auburn's the 4.
Auburn's the 4 and Ole Miss is the 13? Then, they play the 5-12 winner. Yeah.
But we already know what happened in the Starkville Regional. Mississippi State, relatively speaking, just cruised through their regional, and they faced Georgia, who didn't cruise as much, but Georgia just gets through their regional without a loss as well.
Oh, by the way, I didn't even think about it. Somebody just mentioned on the text line. Richard Cross, Georgia Tech, Charmin soft again. I got to text him.
Man, they've been on it. Somebody says, I'm just...
Every year. They're like, it's every year with Georgia Tech. Every year.
Yeah. Somebody says, I'm just telling y'all I know why, but it's nothing I would do. I'm a Bulldog fan, but pull for Southern Miss. The early games are crazy to me. Southern Miss, if they played at night, I think we're talking a different story. The atmosphere would have been 10 times better at night. These are kids. It shouldn't matter. But the crowd was amazing, too. I mean, how much better does the crowd impact your inability to beat your 4 seed in a home regional?
Yeah. You would think it should be irrelevant. You know, look at State. State played a home game, had a good crowd, dominated their 4 seed. That's how it should go.
Somebody says, why put us with Georgia? Please help me make sense of it other than SEC team control so too many won't be in Omaha.
Well, there's only so much you can do.
There's only so many. Yeah.
I mean, there's 16 hosts, and how many did the SEC get? You're going to have some that are like that. I mean, could State have been the 13 seed and been, I'm sorry, not the 12 seed and been paired with North Carolina? Could Ole Miss have been in the 15 seeds regional and been paired with Georgia Tech? Yeah.
Yeah.
But even that, but then what would happen? They'd be playing Oklahoma, so it wouldn't have made a difference.
Are all the teams numbered 1 through 64? They're not. They should, but they're not.
They should do that, but they don't.
Who is the OU fan with the red shirt? The woman they keep showing all game? I have no idea, Hayden.
I haven't watched them in a minute of their games, so I don't know.
I didn't get to watch as much baseball as I wanted to this weekend. We just had a lot going on. Also,
it was a walk-off home run. I didn't realize.
Oh, wow.
To dead. My goodness, he crushed. That went over the batter's eye. That's like a 400 and some odd. I got to know hold on. Please tell me Oklahoma gives me the track man on
they
this.
Better.
I need to see the track man on that. It's not up yet, but I want to know the track man. That thing had to be like 425, 430 feet. That's crazy.
How about that? Nothing says super regional like Troy hosting Little Rock. Hey,
this is baseball, baby. This is the tournament. It is what it is.
We
may have Kentucky hosting Cal Poly. I mean, that's just what it is. It's a tournament.
Look at our text line. How many people watching? You know this state loves baseball when you got a bunch of people texting us like, hey,
454 feet.
Oh, my gosh. I haven't seen this yet.
Been out of the polo grounds. You need to find the video that he destroys this ball. I mean, it's to dead center. And they got a big old batter's eye, and it's over it. It's like a green monster out there. Have you seen it?
I'm getting there.
It's just ridiculous how far he hits this ball.
450 is
That's getting
wild.
It done. That's
Oh my gosh.
That's that's Ruthian. You see it? Yeah.
That's a huge batter's eye.
Yeah, he just no problem. It's insane. What an insane.
Oh, you got mom crying in the stands. Oh, I love that right there. That is so cool.
College baseball, baby. This is a lot of fun. This weekend has just been incredible.
That's what Georgia Tech gets for wearing those stupid chrome gold helmets.
They're just soft. They got soft hands, brother. Yeah, this is just fantastic. I mean, the top 2 seeds in the tournament are out. 2 teams that lost a combined. If I'm correct, those 2 teams didn't lose 20 games combined this year.
Wow.
And now they're gone. It's really something. Yeah, this is better than the first couple days of March Madness with the upsets.
Yeah, this year we didn't get any of those, did we?
Because you really are getting like what would be if they did a bracket like it was by 16s instead of 4 each was a sub. Mm-hmm. You would be having some 116. Like UCLA St. Mary's would be a 116 upset. Georgia Tech would be a 1 seed in the South Regional. That's a 116 upset. I guess not 16 because Oklahoma wouldn't be, but I mean that's what we're talking about here. I texted Richard. I said, Charmin soft, and he just sent back one of the Bears. Irresistible softness.
He's got a game to call here in a couple of hours. Big game
for him, yeah.
If you guys want to watch that, that's coming up later. And he's going to host his show in the morning after that late night. At that point, do you even go to bed? God forbid he gets extra innings. Could you imagine if he has like a 15-inning game tonight, and then he's got to talk about politics circa 6 a.m. tomorrow morning? Oof. No breaks.
I wouldn't want any piece of that lifestyle. We'll let Richard live it.
We'll be right back. Sports Talk Mississippi.
And the Venable Glass.
What do they want? Exciting news.
Brace yourself.
More Sports Talk Mississippi. Now.
All right, we are not going to get behind. We refuse. Team number 89 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. Texas State, who is now
San Angelo, right?
Texas State is, I thought it was in San Marcos. Yeah, San Marcos.
San Marcos, okay.
Threw me off there for a second.
I wasn't sure, so I got to check TripAdvisor.
The
Go ahead.
Bobcats of Texas State, they play in what is a really cool-looking stadium, by the way, Jim Wacker Field.
Why did he get suspended from school? He's a...
Jim Wacker Field at UFCU Stadium. Seats 27,000, but again, it's a cool-looking place to watch a game. Kind of a proud program, proud athletics department right now. They really care, and they've got support, and they're trying to win, as evidenced by their move to the Pac-12. Spent the last 3 years, of course, G.J. Kinney, their head coach, spent the last 3 years, of course, at Texas State, where he went 8-5, and 7-6 last year. But wait until you hear how the 7-6 worked itself out. They beat Eastern Michigan and UTSA. They lost at Arizona State and then beat Nichols. So a 3-1 start. Their one loss is at Arizona State. All good. Then they go to Arkansas State and lose by 1. Then they host Troy and lose in overtime. Then they go to Marshall and lose in double overtime. That's 3 straight losses. Yeah. 1 point, overtime, double overtime. They got beat pretty bad by James Madison. Then they go to Louisiana, lose by 3. So they have a 5-game losing streak where the losses are 3, 1, double overtime, and overtime. They ended the season on a 4-game winning streak at Southern Miss, ULM, South Alabama, and they beat Rice in the Armed Forces Bowl. So all in all, I mean, they were close to being exceptional.
Yeah.
And instead they were just okay. This year, they open at Texas. Good luck, GJ. They host UTSA in North Texas and Incarnate Word, where I believe he coached for a period of time. He did, actually. He was the head coach at Incarnate Word.
Yeah.
And so they're coming to his place in a bit of a reunion. Then they start Pac-12 play at San Diego State, Colorado State at home, Utah State at home before going to Boise State and Oregon State in back-to-back weeks. Hosting Fresno State and Washington State before going to Colorado State. That is a fun league. It's not a power league, but that's a fun league. It's a good schedule.
Agreed. I think that they can be a contender out there. You know, and GJ That's a guy that we have a lot of fun with, and I think that if he has a big year, this might be it for him at Texas State. It might be time to move on. But it's going to be tough for him to do that because who would want to walk away from industry in San Marcos? Now, my friend, this is very much like, you know, all the memes that are about, like, you see the hipster burger place. It's like, I'm about to go spend $35 on a cheeseburger. That's kind of what we're looking at here with this place. That's what it looks like. But this is the highest rated place. The prices aren't really that bad. And they have an interesting thing here. You can just get a plate of blistered poblano peppers with like a garlicky dip. So you're just eating the pepper instead of a chip. It's like a keto nacho kind of thing. I was like, that's actually a really good idea. Looking at the menu here, obviously burgers. You can get some plates there. They got a smoked half chicken that looks really, really good, to be honest with you. Their desserts look fantastic. I mean, they look real good. Homemade cheesecake, bread pudding a la mode, brownie a la mode, pecan pie, banana pudding. And you can turn any of their desserts into a milkshake, and then you can make it a boozy milkshake.
Okay.
So I can get it. Let me get
very
this straight.
college town.
Hold on a second. I just want to be clear about what we're talking about here. You're telling me I can get a boozy cheesecake milkshake? Will I get drunk or will I get diabetes?
What is
I don't know.
Cheesecake milkshake? How does that even?
I've had a cheesecake milkshake. I mean, they make cheesecake ice cream. Yeah, it's not that difficult.
Okay, I've never had it. Sounds good.
You just blend it until it's smooth. I mean, how hard can it be?
I guess that works, yeah.
A little graham cracker on top.
Yeah.
Brisket pastrami sandwich, Dijon mustard, house-made pickles, Swiss, bacon and onion jam on Texas toast with a brisket jus. That sounds fantastic. San Marcos. I was unfamiliar with your game. That sounds like a really good place to eat. So, all right, tomorrow on the show, we got to get some national guys on here to help us make sense of everything we saw in this weekend of college baseball. I mean, tonight I think we're gonna have more upsets, guys. Troy is beating Florida right this second as we speak, 2-0. Bottom of the third. We have already seen what happened with Oklahoma. It's still 1-0 West Virginia, but that game's going back and forth, I bet. And then Auburn and Texas A&M. What are these super regionals going to look like? We'll talk more about that tomorrow on the show. Plus some football. Maybe who knows what else we're going to come up with. And, of course, the 100 teams countdown will continue. Talk to you guys tomorrow. For Michael Borkey, I'm Brian Hadad. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk Mississippi. Back with you, Maru.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.